Meow. Buenos días y bienvenidos a todos. Good morning and welcome, everyone. Welcome to a community dedicated to providing spiritual tools for living a happy and full life. My name is Karina Shear, and I am the spiritual director and founding minister here at the Center for Spiritual Living Puerto Vallarta. If you would like to join us for the live Zoom meeting, please contact me for the link and the password or check our website, www.cslpv.org. Today is Sunday, August 23rd, 2026, and we are continuing our monthly theme, the fear and the furious. The topic for this week is mobilizing anger. The suggested book for reading this month is from Brene Brown, Dare to Lead, Brave Work, Tough Conversations, Whole Hearts. So at this time, I would like to once again welcome everyone, including those that are new to our teaching and to our center here in Vallarta, whether you are on the live Zoom call or watching the replay at a later time. Here we teach a philosophy that honors all faith traditions. And today we have Mojito joining us for the meeting. So as I was saying, we teach the philosophy that honors all faith traditions. So whatever path you are on, know that it is the right one for you. We teach the philosophy of the science of mind. It's a teaching based on new thought and ancient wisdom, where we offer spiritual tools and principles to promote personal growth and transformation. When Dr. Ernest Holmes founded this teaching in the 1920s, he had studied both Eastern and Western spiritual texts in order to create the science of mind. When asked to provide a concise definition of the teaching, he had replied that it is a correlation of laws of science, opinions of philosophy, and revelations applied to human needs and aspirations. So each week, we offer a service with an inspirational message. We offer the Zoom meeting at 10 a.m. and meet in person Sundays at noon. After service, whether it's online or in person, hang out with us afterwards to enjoy a cup of coffee and some great conversation with like-minded people. And now, as we do each week, let's review our purpose, vision, and mission statements. We have a grand purpose here each week, and that is to awaken and celebrate diversity and to love and serve our community. We do this by means of our vision, creating the life you desire. And that is supported by our mission to provide spiritual tools for personal growth and transformation. And more on all of these can be found on their own drop-down menu on our website. And now let's have a reading from Creative Thought magazine. And as you may know, spiritual mind treatment or affirmative prayer is always done in the first person. So I invite you to gently close your eyes if you so choose, and take these words as your own. I dwell in the rich possibilities of the present. I am the I am. I am one with an all-knowing, everywhere present, eternal power for good that operates in, as, and through all creation. I am a wide open channel for this good to express in my life. I release old beliefs of limitation, regret, guilt, and woulda, coulda, shoulda. I face forward, embrace the future fearlessly, and co-create thought by thought, moment by moment, a life of freedom and transformative self-expression. I am free and move forward with ease, knowing that with each thought, I consciously transform my life. I enter into a larger version of myself. I am no longer held prisoner by my past or my beliefs about my past, nor am I constrained in any way by anxiety or apprehension regarding the future. I release all expectations regarding either the past or the future and dwell instead in the abundant expectancy of the eternal now. Embracing the truth of love, I release these words to law, knowing that good is unfolding effortlessly and spontaneously in my life now, moment by moment, and so it is. And that was originally submitted by licensed practitioner Susan Moeller from Desert, California. And now for our reading from the book Decolonizing Nonviolent Communication, Co-Conspirator by Min Nadchi. He wrote, if an emotional experience is inaccessible to us, it is an indicator that we are not in full choice. Emotional experiences begin to be limited in infancy when we start receiving cues that we need to not be so upset, not be so sad, and not be so happy. As children, many of us were told through words or otherwise to limit our enthusiasm and joy. Anger is one such emotion that is frequently locked away and denied. The result is a struggle to communicate anger in healthy ways and difficulty distinguishing between anger that serves and toxic anger. Anger that serves is like a flame. It is forward moving and it is bright. When it is acknowledged, it dissipates quite quickly. Toxic anger, on the other hand, lives in our body like poisons. It swims in circles with no place to go. No amount of expression diminishes its virulence or its hold. Toxic anger is not anger. It is, in truth, a graveyard of grief, a mass gathering of unexpressed feelings and unmet needs, both intergenerational and individual. Systematic conditions disallow impacted folks from expressing grief or heartache. Our movement, the Science of Mind spaces, are filled with this toxicity, not because anyone wants to carry it, but because we have not been allowed sufficient time and space to grieve. As individuals and as a collective, our health and well-being depends upon our willingness to find space to do it anyways. And our first quote is from Ernest Holmes from the Science of Mind magazine. Emotion, uncontrolled, produces chaos. Unexpressed, it produces confusion, conflict, and complexes, where energy will have an outlet. So anger is not something to ignore, but rather an energy to understand and skillfully redirect. The Science of Mind philosophy teaches us that there is a creative power in the universe, greater than any individual, and we can consciously align with it to transform our emotional states. Rather than viewing anger purely as a as destructive, Science of Mind invites us to recognize anger as a signal, an invitation to deeper awareness of our values and our boundaries. By cultivating mindfulness and spiritual awareness, we learn to pause and inquire what or truth or cherished principle is being threatened. In this way, anger becomes an opportunity for growth and conscious action. When transmuted through spiritual practice, anger's fire and fury can fuel courageous conversations, just action, and compassionate boundary setting. We become co-creators with spirit, channeling our emotions for collective upliftment and healing. Mobilizing anger doesn't mean lashing out. It means consciously channeling it toward justice, compassion, and creative change. We align with greater good when we transmute reactive energy into sacred momentum. So anger is actually an inner alarm. Emotions are messengers, and they are vital. Each carries guidance for our personal and spiritual journeys. Anger acts as an internal alarm system, instantly alerting us whenever a personal boundary has been crossed or a deeply held value feels threatened. The teaching of the science of mind advises us to pause and reflect on anger, seeking the deeper truth it reveals, rather than just ignoring or unleashing it. It's an opportunity to ask ourselves, what part of myself is seeking understanding, healing, or protection? By approaching anger with curiosity and compassion, we allow ourselves to listen deeply and recognize the wisdom behind the emotion. In this way, anger transforms from an impulsive reaction into a powerful doorway for insight, conscious growth, and meaningful spiritual evolution. Holmes wrote this: does the thing I wish to do express more life, more happiness, more peace to myself, and at the same time harm no one? If it does, it is right. It is not selfish. So throughout history, righteous anger has been the spark behind many transformative movements, whether it's for civil rights, environmental justice, or equity across society. Yet within a spiritual community, our responsibility is not simply to acknowledge anger, but to mobilize it purposefully. We are called to harness this collective fire, ensuring that it does not become a source of division, but rather a pathway to healing and unity. This means gathering as a community to acknowledge the pain, injustice, or frustration that fuels our anger, and then consciously choosing to channel it in ways that builds bridges rather than creates barriers. So together we ask, how can we transform anger into courageous action, compassionate dialogue, and creative solutions? By rooting our activism in love and empathy, we can ensure that our collective anger becomes a force that heals wounds, uplifts spirits, and moves us all toward greater justice and well-being. Thich Nhat Hanh wrote this: We can transform our anger and anxiety and cultivate our energy of peace, understanding, and compassion as the basis of action. Today's story is about a survivor, the sole survivor of a shipwreck that was washed up on a small, uninhabitable island. He prayed feverishly for God to rescue him, and every day he scanned the horizon for help, but none seemed forthcoming. Exhausted, he eventually managed to build a little hut out of the driftwood to protect him from the elements and to store his few possessions. Then, one day, after scavenging for food, he arrived home to find his little hut in flames. The worst had happened. Everything was lost. He was stunned with anger. God, how could you do this to me? He cried. Early the next day, however, he was awakened by the sound of a ship that was approaching the island. It had come to rescue him. How did you know I was here? He asked. We saw your smoke signal, they replied. It's easy to be angry and get discouraged when things are going badly, but we shouldn't lose heart because God is at work in our lives. Remember, next time your little hut is burning to the ground, it just may be a smoke signal that summons the grace of God. So, what is at the core of our anger? Love. Beneath anger often lies profound love for justice, for well-being, for dignity, or for the relationships and values that we hold dear. The science of mind teaches us that both love and law guide the universe. When anger arises within us, it acts as a signal, pointing directly to the things that we cherish most deeply and illuminates our innermost convictions. This perspective invites us to pause and recognize that our strongest emotions are often born from a deep desire to protect, heal, or uphold something sacred. And by honoring this love, we can use anger as a constructive fuel, creating change rooted in compassion, clarity, and a heart-centered purpose of creating a better world. Holmes wrote this: the more power one gives to his thought, the more completely he believes that his thought has power, the more power will it have. So we are not afraid of anger. We are awakened to its power, recognizing it as a commanding force that can inspire change when approached with mindfulness. In the science of mind tradition, we don't judge our emotions or label them as good or bad, but instead we learn from them, allowing each feeling to offer its unique wisdom. Anger, when met with spiritual consciousness and a willingness to listen, becomes a profound tool for personal and collective transformation. So rather than letting our anger divide or consume us, we are invited this week to listen deeply to our anger's message and honor the intensity of its call and consciously direct its fire toward the healing of ourselves and our communities. At the heart of our fury is love, a fierce devotion to justice, dignity, and well-being. Our sacred task then is to channel this energy into wise, compassionate action that uplifts and unites, becoming agents of meaningful change. So this week, take some time to journal about your relationship with anger. When do you feel it most strongly? What values or boundaries typically underlie it? Reflect on the time when you used anger in a constructive manner. What strategies did you use to stay focused on achieving constructive results? Reflect on the idea that anger can be a motivating force rather than a harmful one. And I'll leave you with this final quote. The only way to get to the bottom of anger is to face the ocean of sadness underneath it. And that brings us to our affirmation for the week. I channel my anger into meaningful, courageous action. And now it's time for news and updates at our center. If you are interested in learning more about the Science of Mind teaching, we do offer courses via Zoom as well as in person. So connect with me or check our website to find out the details. There is a survey for your input on what types of courses, classes, book studies, or even meditations that you would like to see. So please check that out, fill it in so that we can plan dates for these as well. And if you are planning to attend in person in the first 2 weeks of September, listen for updates, and we will be having a temporary change of location. So check for our website as well for the details. And if you would like to have a one-on-one connection for a spiritual mind treatment, please can contact me so that we can arrange a time for this, either in person or via Zoom. Also, if you would like to commit to being a member of the Center for Spiritual Living Puerto Vallarta for this current year, as membership does renew annually, or if you would like to be on our board of trustees, please contact me and I will send you the current forms. I'd also like to remind you to like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel and our Facebook page. I'm also starting a mid-week short that will be on our Facebook page as well as on our YouTube, so that we know what's coming up for the next week. Also, let me know if you would like to receive our weekly post on Substack. And now it's time for our mindful giving and financial support of our spiritual home. We rely on your support to continue our center here in Puerto Vallarta so that we can continue offering this powerful teaching of the science of mind. We bless the financial gifts that you give today. Every donation is greatly appreciated. And donations can be made using either PayPal or Tithely. And you can find them on our website, www.cslpv.org. And you'll find the buttons on both the landing page as well as on the page where you find our weekly talks on replay. Alternatively, you can still send in a paper check by addressing it to CSLPV number 403, 2125 Birch Road, Kelowna, BC, B1Y8N1. And now please join me in our offertory affirmation. I know that my giving blesses and multiplies all that I am all that I have, and all that I give and receive. I do give eternal thanks for the abundance that is mine to share. So thank you for coming and sharing this time together. And let's continue practicing peace. We can each be a force for peace and nonviolence. Our words and actions can create ripples of peace all around us and beyond. Peaceful living includes acting with compassion, kindness, consideration, and it also includes standing up against injustice. So more than ever, we need to stand for peace. Hug your friends, your loved ones, and your neighbors. May peace and love be with you always, in all ways. Peace and blessings to all. Namaste.